Friday, the combat rework was announced. It included some elements we were already aware of, like the bonding changes and the removal of the companion influence stat. So let's talk about it. Roll it! Welcome back, and first thing is first. I want to remind everyone of what I said in my Dudes Where's My Bondings video. But let's see how the balancing and scaling changes that accompany the bonding changes play out. So Friday, the combat system rework was released and people are freaking out. No one is talking about bonding changes and companion influence anymore. Like I said, the bonding changes are only one piece of the puzzle. Next up is understanding how the changes work and what these changes mean for players of all levels. And that requires testing at all levels. So if you are listening to your best in slot friends scream holy murder because we have mythic companions and they are going to have to spend 1.5 million AD on each to upgrade the companions and you aren't best in a slot yet, well, calm down, because her plight or his plight is different than your plight, and her or his experience with the new changes will be different than your experience, if that makes any sense. But to clear things up, let's add some perspective. A best in slot player literally has nothing left to invest in. They play daily, get their 100k, and whatever goodies they can trade/sell to make additional income on the side. That's 36.5 million AD a year, plus side hustle, which easily doubles that, thanks to VIP keys mostly. There are 2 modules a year, so in theory, they can spend 18 plus million a module and remain best in slot. That's over 12 legendary to mythic companion upgrades, plus whatever companion upgrade tokens you earn from Sibella or loot in dungeons. Trust me, as a best in slot player, a new tier of companion is not the end of the world, although it may impact my ability to share my in-game loot with you guys via drawings. I don't roll quite as deep as a pimp like Garland does. But don't you worry, I am still going to be sharing my spoils, so check out my huge Christmas giveaway. So for Christmas, I wanted to do something special and do a huge Christmas giveaway. Okay, so back to the subject at hand. Here are some point perspectives I want to share, and I will also have follow-up videos coming soon. 1, for those of you wondering where these changes actually came from. If you go back to Module 16 and the last great combat system rework, and when Chris Whiteside first came on board, he made it extremely clear that Module 16 did not reflect his vision. Basically, he was onboarded during the release, and it was too late to institute any changes. Why is this perspective even important? Mostly because as we see the combat system reworked in such a short amount of time, it appears Cryptic doesn't have a direction. And if you think that, you are actually correct. The game does seem to be massively controlled by the development team and is not governed by some master vision. Every time the team changes, the vision changes. This is another instance of Chris coming in to implement his own vision. So there's a direction, but let's keep in mind it is closely linked to Chris. So if Chris decided to move on, then we can expect another person to come in and implement their own vision as well. 2. Forte is not a D&D thing. It's some made-up mechanic. Not that we haven't had plenty of made-up mechanics in Neverwinter Online, but it certainly is a reassurance that although we have a D&D environment, we are not constrained to the D&D mechanics. Does this mean Wizards of the Coast is ignoring the game completely at this point? I don't know. I know that they are working on Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, and the release date has been pushed to 2021. 3. As I mentioned in the Where's My Bondings video, our focus needs to be on how these changes are implemented. Will the combat be fun? Will it indeed become more intuitive to understand how stats work in this game, as Chris Whiteside has promised? Because checking your arm pen every time you enter a dungeon and switching your guild boon from power to armor pen when required was not a fun mechanic, and it wasn't intuitive at all. Most new players I run into have no idea how the stats work in the game, until of course they visit my friend Jana and Rainer's tools. And should you actually need an undergraduate degree in engineering to navigate a video game? I think not. 4. If older content becomes more difficult, and scaling sucks by the way, I think we can all agree with that, will the rewards offset the additional challenge? Currently the only reason to run skirmishes is to get mount collars, which appear to drop from nowhere else. If it takes me 30 minutes to run a Master of the Hunt, you're going to have to improve the loot, like drastically. 5. For those screaming about enchant/runestones changes that may need to be made for optimizing your build, there may be a vendor to soften the blow for rebalancing. Just keep screaming so Chris hears you to make sure this happens. That's all basically you could do. 6. There are a few new things that anger me. like how these changes affect mid to lower level players, and how these changes always come just when most of the Neverwinter player base is finally reaching their goal. Then it suddenly all gets thrown out the window and they have to start all over. I understand the anger, the resentments, and their frustrations. I too have felt it and feel it with every coming change. But now that I had a chance to calm down and really think this through, that's why I haven't actually made a video on the subject sooner, by the way. I didn't want to say something I regret and without analyzing the situation first in my head. I came to the conclusion that maybe, just maybe, we are jumping the gun here. Maybe it will be all crap, and maybe the game does get worse. But then again, maybe it won't. Maybe this is actually a good thing. The only main issue I've always had is they never take into consideration our hard work and progress before making these huge changes. For example, Radiance and Empowered are most likely useless now, and we all use them. Is the compy still good, considering we get power maxed extremely easily in the new combat system? How about Reforges boxes and those tier 3 lures that we grinded for months? If they're going to make this work, they need to make sure that some of that effort isn't wasted, like convert the tier 3 gear to something better by removing power and adding an actual useful stat. You feel me? You get where I'm going with this? So to those of you who are saying you are quitting, I want you to take a moment and just listen to me. If you feel this is bad, then by all means do what you need to do. But I say wait. This is way too soon to know how this will pan out. I mean, what if it actually turns out to be much better? This is just one step of the many to come. So maybe we just need to hold on and take a deep breath. More changes will come, and I've always been an advocate of balance. So if this balances the game more, then I think we will be okay. So yeah, sure, it will cost us more ID to upgrade, and yeah, some of us will still be super upset. But in the long run, this is what MMOs do. This is what MMOs are. They always raise the bar with change to make you grind for something new. It's just the way it is and always will be, regardless if me and you are happy or not about it. The show just literally must go on. So personally, like I said, I'm kind of angry with some of the things, but everything that makes me angry is mostly because of their disregard to our progress. It's not about the change. I'm all for change if it makes the game better. We don't know yet if it's going to make better. We don't know yet if it's going to make it worse. Will it make it more expensive? Probably, but that's usually the case anyways. So yeah, I'm just going to wait and find out. So if you're a friend of mine, if you're a person that knows me and my channel, you know I always speak the truth. My advice to you is hold on. Just wait. It might be better, but then again, it might be worse. We just have to wait and see. Oh, and one last thing. I did get into the Mod 20 test group for the first time like ever. So I will get to see Module 20 before a lot of you. And that is kind of exciting. And obviously when they allow it, I will share info about it as well. So that's all I had to say about the new combat changes. Anyways, I gotta go. Nikita is making me a sandwich. And I am kinda hungry. Galactic here. Peace out. Stay safe.
Carry on my wayward son.